Hello. So this I look awful today because I've had some allergic reaction. I think it's to the concealer that I'm using, which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus one. I've never used it before, and every time I have used it now, my eyelids just get swollen, which sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna talk a little bit about just generic stuff. I have my iced coffee here. This is really yummy. This is just instant coffee dissolved in cold water. Instant coffee dissolved in cold water. And then I just put in a little bit of milk and a dollop of cream. No sweetener or anything. I'm Swedish, so we drink a lot of coffee in Sweden. And usually we don't drink it with any kind of sweeteners unless it's like a latte or something. But usually we drink black coffee and pretty strong black coffee. And so I don't need sweet stuff generally. Like in coffee, I never put sweet stuff. In tea, I don't put sweet stuff. Anyway, I wasn't going to talk about coffee or anything like food related actually. I wanted to talk a little bit about perfumes, which is my kind of obsession. I love coffee. My brain is stupid today. I love perfumes with a passion. I have probably like 40 something perfumes, which is way too much, which is something, you don't really need. So I'm gonna show my perfume haul, like my favorites. And those are the ones that I'm going to talk about. Plus some generic like body sprays and stuff like that. I'm gonna actually, ooh, that's a horrible angle. I'm going to just put my perfumes on the table here so it's easier for me to just grab them from the table and show them on camera. And yeah, my taste in perfumes is kind of out there. It's I like very sweet and girly scents, but then I also like very kind of old-fashioned and deep musky woodsy scents. So like I love Chanel No. 5. That was actually the first perfume that I tried in my life, and I adore it. So, and then I was like 15, which is very unusual, I guess. But that is just me. I've always been like that. I am very kind of I have never bought like a cheap like drugstore or like off-brand perfume, because to me they just don't smell that good. They never stay long on the skin. So gotta take another sip of coffee first before. It's so good. I'm sorry I look really horrible. Allergies are for real, girls and boys, especially like if you have really sensitive skin. Anywho, I'm gonna start with my probably #1 favorite perfume at the moment. This is a new bottle of it. I ran out of my last bottle. I had the 30 ml and I actually got the 100 ml now. This is Givenchy Haute Couture. And this one is, I would say, in the woodsy, musky department. It's very deep, very sexy. It's quite sweet because it has kind of raspberry notes and citrus notes in there. But then it also has like amber and pepper, I think, and musk. This is such a nice, like, sexy but feminine and modern perfume. I would say if you like unusual perfumes, that are very womanly, but you know, doesn't smell like a cupcake or something like that. Check this out. I don't know if it's been discontinued because it's really hard to find. God forbid that it is, but if it is, you can probably find it on like discount stores if they have it in stock and stuff like that. Haute Couture, just check it out. Then for my more sweet scents, of course, cult classic Pink Sugar by Aquilina. This is again one of my favorites, as you can see. This is the third bottle I have of this. This is just Cotton Candy Delight. It's just vanilla, it's cotton candy, it's strawberries. It just smells very, very girly and very, very sweet. Guys go crazy over this for some reason. They kind of seem to like the edible sort of fragrance on girls. Really recommend that you check Pink Sugar out if you like sweet scents. A more sophisticated sweet scent, I would say, a little bit more mature than Pink Sugar, is another Givenchy. I love Givenchy perfumes. They're kind of something that works for me. This is Live Irresistible, but the Delicieuse version. This one is purely gourmand. It's cherry on top, I think, together with like French pastries. So it kind of has that cherry marzipan kind of scent. Then it has some rose. And the dry down is pure gourmand. It's like caramel, vanilla, the whole gourmand. It's very similar to La Vie est Belle in the dry down, I think. And for me, this is just beautiful, feminine. It smells more expensive, even though it's sweet. It smells like it's the designer fragrance that it is. It doesn't smell cheap, sweet. So that is that. I'm not high on celebrity fragrances generally. There are a few that I like, but to me most of them don't last on the skin, and they are just smelling like every other perfume out there. But I have a few, and they are from Britney Spears. Britney Spears, I'm not like generally a fan of Britney Spears music or anything like that, even though I kind of was a teenager when she was popular. But her perfumes are really, really good. I've had a lot of her perfumes. I had her first one, the Curious, the little spaceship looking one. I've had the original Fantasy, but that one I get a headache from, so I had to give it away. The Midnight Fantasy, the blue bottle, and that one was my jam for years when I was going out. Like, that was my thing. Anyway, she does very good fragrances, and I did want to like Fantasy, but there is the screechy note. I think if it is the lychee or the kiwi that gives me such a headache, so sharp, can't stand it. Then I heard about this one. This is the Rocker Femme Fantasy, and this one is smelling very, very similar to the original one. Very, very similar. It's just sweet, creamy, girly. That's the one I'm wearing today, so yeah. Anyway, this one is so much better, in my opinion, than the original, because this one does not have those screechy fruit notes. Instead of the kiwi and lychee, this one has blackberry liqueur. This one also has some coconut in the dry down, which gives it a very nice, soft, creamy feel. It smells to me very similar, but a little bit lighter and a little bit less sharp. And this one is such a good one. This is my go-to for like every day. It's very daytime appropriate in my opinion. And I absolutely adore it. Very, very good fragrance. And cheap. I have another Britney fragrance as well. This is also for me daytime. I use the celebrity fragrances for daytime because they are less expensive, so it doesn't matter if I use them up fast, sort of. Anyway, this is the Britney Spears Private Show, and this one is a little bit more mature than the Fantasy line and the Radiance line that she have done before. This one is quite fresh. It has like very much citrus notes in the upper notes, and then it has some white florals, so it's very fresh. And then in the dry down it has some cream, like whipped cream, dulce de leche, which is like butterscotch or something like that, like caramel, and coffee. So this one is kind of similar to Black Opium, but lighter, not as heavy, not as sweet. Perfect for daytime, lasts a good amount of time. All of Britney's fragrances last a very well amount of time on my skin. So this one is super beautiful. I love the bottle of this as well. It's very girly, like a huge crystal. It's just very, very pretty. Then, of course, I have another cult favorite that everybody loves. Everybody has it, which makes it kind of boring. I don't really wear this a lot, to tell the truth, simply because it is so general. And it is the Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. I choose the Gold Couture because it is deeper with the caramel note, so it lasts a bit longer on the skin. This is really good. It smells good, smells fresh, smells girly, but you smell it on every other girl in the city. Like if you go to the mall, every teenage girl reeks of this. So that makes it something that guys kind of have voted it the sexiest female fragrance on the market or something like that. And I'm like, it's good, but it's definitely not sexy. It's definitely not that unique. But hey, whatever rocks your boat, right? Anyway, Juicy Couture Gold Couture. Then I have, this one is a little different. It is kind of gourmand because it has cotton candy and vanilla in it and stuff like that. But it also has musk, geranium, grapefruit, I think, or at least some citrus notes, and pepper. And this is the Carolina Herrera 212 Sexy. And this one is very nice. It smells fresh, but sweet and musky and girly at the same time. It's very different to describe, but it's a very, very good fragrance. This one also is quite hard to find. I buy it online, but it's not always in stock. So I don't know if that one is also discontinued, which is so sad because it is a really good fragrance. Then I have, of course, a Thierry Mugler. If you love gourmands, you have to have a Thierry Mugler in your fragrance collection. This is the Angel Muse one. The original Angel, I hate it on myself. I love the smell on others, but on me it smells kind of like rotting fruit, which is not very cute. But then he came out with Angel Muse, which has more like chocolatey vibes, and this one is super delicious. A lot of people have actually asked me what I'm wearing when I'm wearing this, so this is a total win for me. It lasts a long time as well. You need very, very little. It is expensive, but it is really good. Angel Muse, I love the bottle as well. It's so cute. Then we have two oldies but goodies. These are from the 80s. I'm a huge 80s fan. I love like a lot of 80s movies. I love the clothes. I love the hair, the makeup, all of that stuff. This first one is very daytime appropriate, in my book anyway. It's quite strong, but it's very soft and floral. This is Yves Saint Laurent Paris, the original. This is the Eau de Toilette. I kind of want to try the perfume as well, the Eau de Parfum. But this one, the Toilette, it's very, very strong. This smells like a makeup, like an expensive powder or something like that. It's roses and violets and powder. That's what this smells like. And this is beautiful in the summer or like just in general in daytime. This is like my go-to for daytime. Like for the office, or this would work probably well on a date or something like that as well, because this is very, very feminine. I absolutely adore this, and I'm definitely going to buy it again. Then we have, this one is quite the opposite of Paris. This one is the kind of woman, imagine the Dynasty from the 80s and imagine Joan Collins as Alexis Colby. That's this type of fragrance. This is actually Elizabeth Taylor's perfume, Passion. This one is super 80s. The bottle is very kind of 80s, very luxurious looking, Art Deco. And the scent is so unique. It's kind of like Tom Ford Black Orchid in the sense that it could be unisex. It smells very kind of manly when you first smell it in the bottle and when you first spray it on. But when you let it sit for like half an hour to an hour, it kind of mellows into this beautiful sort of creamy fragrance. It has a lot of white florals like gardenia, honeysuckle, ylang ylang, jasmine. Those types of notes really stand out on my skin, together with honey that is also there, coconut and vanilla. And then the base notes of leather, musk, civet, and patchouli I think is also in there. So it has a lot of notes. But this one on me is super beautiful. Again, when I have been wearing this, people have been asking, what are you wearing? You smell so good. Like when just, I don't know, Elizabeth Taylor. It's really good. And to me, I adore those types of fragrances. I also like Taboo by Dana, Shalimar by Guerlain. Yeah, those types of like Arpège and Le Mans. The type of granny scents, I guess you could call them. Anyway, the last thing that I have here that I have absolutely liked along when I started wearing it, this is actually a body spray. This is by Victoria's Secret and it's called Secret Craving. And this one has black currant and vanilla absolute. This is very kind of sensual and sweet and deep, but not in the kind of juvenile way most Victoria's Secret body sprays are. Most of them are very kind of just smell like a fruit drink, something like Kool-Aid or something like a kid would drink. This one doesn't. It's very sensual, I would say. This is something I could use if I know I'm not going out or anything that day. Maybe I go to the grocery store and I still want to smell good. I would put this on. It doesn't last more than a few hours, but it lasts longer than most body sprays do. And yeah, it's a very, very nice. If you like Victoria's Secret, if you can get it, try this one, Secret Craving, if you're a little bit older. And yeah, that was my favorite perfumes. It's not my whole collection. I have a lot of fragrances in my collection. Like I said, I probably have like 30 or 40 and it would take an hour if I had to talk about them all. So I just showed my favorites. Anyway, that was all I had for today. And yeah, I'm not a frequent uploader or anything like that. I don't do it for subscriptions or anything like that. I just do it for myself because it's fun. Or when I'm bored and I like talking to myself and I'm justifying it by doing it on video. That's that. Anyway, have a nice day.